Okay, we are doing 11-7 angles of elevation and depression today. So now remember, we are working with our trigonometry functions. We have today in class, we did sine, cosine, and tangent. You should be familiar with those, and you should be able to use them. Okay, so we are going to use them now to solve story problems. So the first thing you need to understand is angles of elevation and depression. Angle of elevation and angle of depressions are terms civil engineers and navigators use to describe the angles at which they observe things. So angle of elevation is an angle formed by a horizontal line and a line of sight above it. And it's used when you must look up at an object. So I give you a picture here so that you have an idea. What's going to be really important when you create your picture, when you are figuring out your story problems, is you always understand that you start with this line of horizon. So the line of horizon, then Robin Hood, whoever, he's looking up at the bird, that's his line of sight. In here becomes the angle of elevation. Okay, does that picture make sense to everyone?
Yep.
Okay, so then you also need to know or understand angle of depression. Angle of depression is an angle formed by a horizontal line and a line of sight below it. And it's used when you're looking down at an object. So I'm the pilot. Here's my line of horizon. I'm looking down at where I want to land. That is my line of sight. My angle of depression is in the middle here. Okay? Now, the key to solving these types of problems is you have to draw yourself a picture. It's going to be very important that you're able to draw that picture so that you can create the image and figure out what you're solving for. So if you turn your paper over, there's 4 story problems. Let's do those story problems together. Okay, someone read number 1 for me. Read number 1 for me, please. Chad, read that for me.
The angle of elevation from a ship to the top of a lighthouse is 4. If the top of the lighthouse...
And you know what? And that's my fault. That should be a degree sign here. 4 degrees. Put a degree sign there for yourself.
Lighthouse is 4 degrees. If the top of the lighthouse is known to be 50 meters above sea level, how far is the ship from the lighthouse?
Okay, so there's a story problem there. I'm figuring something out, but the picture is going to make a lot more sense. So the first thing I need to do is I need to visualize what's happening here. So an angle of elevation from a ship to the top of the lighthouse. So I'm going to draw a ship.
Adam Walmart, please come to the office. Adam Walmart, please come to the office.
Those are, I know, I'm a fantastic artist, aren't I? Okay, and the picture does not need to be pretty. You just need to get the idea of. Okay, so here's my picture of my ship. Now think about this. I am on a ship. I am going to the lighthouse. I know, and then it says, if the top of the lighthouse is known to be 50 meters above sea level. Okay, so I need to draw what? What's the next thing I'm going to draw here? A lighthouse. So I'm going to come over here, make my lighthouse. There's a beacon, whatever, however you want to draw your lighthouse. Okay? What do I know about the lighthouse? What information do they give me, Nick?
50 meters above sea level.
Okay, so would you agree that means it's 50 meters tall from sea level up, correct?
Yeah.
Okay? Now, the ship is going towards the lighthouse. Okay? Or actually, let's think about this as a better way. Where would my line of horizon be? So if I'm the guy standing on the ship here, hopefully you can draw a better guy than I can. Okay? My line of horizon, so remember the first thing you're always going to draw when you're creating your triangle, and remember we're talking about trigonometry, we're working with right angles. Will all of my pictures create right angles, right triangles? Yes, they will. That's the whole idea behind the trig functions that we're using. Okay, so here is my line of horizon. Okay? And when it says if the top of the house, or we did that part, how far is the ship from the lighthouse? And it says the angle of elevation. So that's my line of horizon. I'm looking up. Okay? And to be a little more accurate, let's make our line of horizon. We're actually talking about from sea level, because that's what they were talking about, right? I know, that's really hard. Turn your pencil over,
Now it's not
erase.
perfect.
So, sorry. All right, now, what am I looking for? What is the question that they're asking me, Bailey?
How far the ship is from the lighthouse?
So where's my X going to go? So I already have this side of my triangle labeled. It's 50. Okay, why?
Because you already know.
I don't know the top. I know my angle is 4 degrees. That's going to go in here. Stephanie.
Because like the ship is moving towards it.
Yeah, so this is going to be the ship moving towards the lighthouse. They want to know how far, so that's going to be your X. Okay, now, go back to the trig functions. Think